There are many wonderful noises in this world of ours. Freshly chopped onions hitting a pan of hot oil, the silky sweetness of Jennifer Lawrence, a 12-cylinder Merlin engine, the husky sultriness of Jennifer Lawrence, and of course, this sound. The sound that can only belong to...
Fastest hunkin' junk in the galaxy.
And of course...
It's the ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
I am of course referring to the one, the only, everyone's favourite converted YT-1300 Corellian freighter, the Millennium Falcon. Well, it should be everyone's favourite. A recent trend amongst dedicated sci-fi modelers, and by dedicated I mean replicators, and I don't mean the type of thing that Jean-Luc Picard gets his tea Earl Grey hot from. There's a website called the Replica Prop Forum, and as I say, these guys take their hobby very, very seriously. If they're building a ship or a gun or a helmet or an item from a film, it has to look exactly like that. There's no coming or going. I mean, it has to be a replica of, an exact replica of the item in question. And a recent trend, because of factors like, if you wanted to build the Millennium Falcon, there was the fine moulds. Well, up until recently anyway, there was the fine moulds, and they did the 1/44th and the 1/72nd scale versions, but they were quite expensive. I mean, the last time I saw the 1/72nd scale Falcon for sale, it was over £250. That's a lot of money for a model, even though it is an exquisite kit, don't get me wrong. Now, I know fine moulds have lost the license for Star Wars. That's shifted over to Bandai, and I'm quite sure Bandai will be bringing out a Falcon in fairly short order, and I imagine it'll probably be a Force Awakens Falcon with the square antenna dish. And I know that Revell have managed to snap up all the toolings from fine moulds, and they do have a Star Wars license because they do produce the Easy Kits, and in fact it's the Easy Kits that these replica guys have been utilising of late, taking either one of the snap together kits that Revell do, or some of the toys that are available, and then ripping them apart and then upgrading them so that they basically look like studio quality models. Because some of the X-Wing toys are a fair size, but it's Hasbro that have actually outdone themselves. They also have a Star Wars license as well, and they brought out a Millennium Falcon just in the last year or so, I think. Maybe it's longer than I don't know. But, well, I bought it. Now, it is a toy. It is a toy. There's no two ways around it. It's not a model kit. It comes in a big box, and it's one piece, and it is what it is. But have a gander at this. Here it is. I believe that this is close to 1/48 scale, and judging by the cockpit, I would say that's about right. Now, as I say, Hasbro have kind of outdone themselves in that this is based on the Empire Strikes Back Millennium Falcon. I mean, what difference there is between A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, I don't know. Certainly I know at the end of Return of the Jedi it would have been sans radar dish, but generally toys are quite sort of blunt objects. They generally look like the thing as opposed to replicating the thing. Now, I'm not saying that this is an exact replica, but have a look at the detail levels that Hasbro have provided on this thing. Okay, actually, I'll switch the big light on. It might help see a little bit. It is beautiful. It's exquisitely done. Now, it's made from polyurethane, so it's a very sort of soft plastic, and the detail can be a little soft in areas, but I mean, I'm sure you'll agree that that ain't bad for what is ostensibly a toy. I mean there's some of the sidewall detail. These areas here are actually represented, in terms of the toy anyway, with the sticker sheet and all the panels as well. You get all the sort of the different coloured panels, the vents at the back, as well as even the canopy, which as you can see is solid. You just meant to put black stickers on there to represent the glazing. And there's also a sticker here for some more sidewall detail. You're just supposed to stick them on, and obviously there's the engines as well. But for something that is a toy, this I mean, it just screws together. That's it. It doesn't open up. It's not like one of these things where you open up and you can keep your stuff in. It's just that's the way it is. It's screwed together. You can see there the holes for the screws. Obviously they can be filled at a later stage, but the general levels of detail are, I would say, as good as anything you're buying in a kit, especially for this size. I mean, there's one of the sidewall pieces that actually, I think it belongs in here. Yeah, it does. But anyway, there you can see, very, very nicely detailed. So it won't take an awful lot in some of the areas to bring this up to standard. I mean, for example, the top gun turret is moulded as one. There is a separate gun for it. Where is it now? Yeah, you can maybe just see it there. The quad gun, which again doesn't look too bad. There's the antenna dish here. Apparently it's overscale, although I don't think it looks too bad, but apparently it is too big. And the underside, the quad gun, is folded up, and well, you can't see any detail there. So all that'll need to be cored out. There's no legs. It just sits on these, almost looks like Lego blocks. Lego blocks for feet. So you can either cut these off, fill those areas, and show it in flight, or we could scratch build the landing gear. Now, the thing is, there are individuals or companies who are producing resin sets for these toys to enable serious builders to bring them up to standard, basically. I did find one website where someone is 3D printing things for this, and to give you an example of what they're charging, the cockpit, just this cone here, the cockpit cone, they're selling for £65. The undercarriage, one undercarriage assembly, one group, I think it's about £45, and they're doing all the various parts, the quad guns and the glazing. I mean, I think it's close to £1,000 if you were to use this particular route, as it were, which I'm not going to. And I'm hoping that by the time I get round to this, because this will be a seriously long-term project. I mean, that Star Destroyer ain't got nothing compared to this. I'm hoping that by that time there will be readily available resin sets and maybe some photo etch detailing sets. I know there is a photo etch detailing set for the fine moulds Falcon, as if it really needed it. And I know that there are some resin sets for these detail panels here for the Hasbro set kit, but I haven't been able to find actually how much they cost or where to get them from. But I do know that they're available. But as this becomes more and more popular, if you Google Hasbro Millennium Falcon upgrade or upgraded, you'll find a couple of sites that actually show this thing having had the treatment, and it just looks like the Studio Falcon. I mean, certain things, like for example, where is it now? Here. Just see, I mean, these are obviously supposed to be just individual pipes, but they've been moulded and they're solid, so all that'll need to be cut out. And maybe some of the pipework might need to be replaced with aluminium tubing just to give it a proper cylindrical, cylindrical look as opposed to that shape, as it were. But to aid me, I actually have a couple of very good reference sources. One of them is this, the Millennium Falcon's, or the Haynes manual for the Millennium Falcon, which, in terms of picture detail, I mean, we've got the movies, we have them on Blu-ray, so we can now still pause and see things perfectly clear. And obviously there's some scenes in The Empire Strikes Back, you know, when they're on Hoth and the deck officers come up and tell Leia that there's still no sign of Luke or Han, and Chewie does his and leans against the ladder as the big doors are closing while there's some...
Help the Scary Bottoms, you're our only hope.
It's Princess Leia. Things one has to put up with. But we have some good reference pictures in this in terms of the Falcon from various angles, and these will be based on studio models. Again, some good line reference drawings, and obviously there's, where is it now? Oh, there we are. Perfect little picture of the back wall of the cockpit. Someone's decided to trim their hedge. That's what that noise is. I mean, you could probably photocopy that and then shrink it down and print it on something and actually use that. Again, it's kind of cheating, I suppose. Maybe just cut out where the lights are and illuminate it that way. You know, maybe paste it against a clear sheet or something and just illuminate it at the back. And if you're putting that on the front of the clear sheet and you've cut away the lighting areas, you could just put a clear colour, you know, like the clear red or clear yellow or whatever at the back, and it will shine through. So anyway, but we do have, as I said, the films are the perfect reference anyway. But as for things like the undercarriage, that might be a little bit closer for damage and everything. So it's quite a good reference manual in that regard. It's a bit of fun, but I'm sure there was pictures of the undercarriage. Not that it matters, because a long time ago, in a life far removed from this one, in fact it was 1978, my mum and my dad bought me for Christmas, well, in 1978, this, the Star Wars blueprints. Now this actually, I mean, I know it's been re-released, but according to the back here, I don't know if you'll be able to read that. There you are, it's a first edition, 1977. Valentine first edition. But it's 20 different blueprints. I mean, you've got things like, where is he now? Everybody's favourite astromech. R2-D2, side elevation of the little fellow himself. But it's drawings 9 and 10 that are of most interest. I mean, I don't know that I'll be able to use that one much, because I mean it's an external thing only, but it's the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. But the one that really will come in useful is this one, which is the Millennium Falcon landing gear, and it's very detailed drawings of the single legs and the clusters, beautifully drawn. So when it comes to scratch building these, hopefully we'll have, between that and, as I say, the bits in the film, we'll have all the reference material we need. So as I say, this is going to be an extremely long term, I mean, I have no idea when I'm going to start. I mean, obviously it's also going to be lit as well. Obviously you couldn't have a cockpit like that and not have it illuminated. But again, I'll be looking into that. As I say, I'll take my time with this one. I know that these things, I mean, I know the Star Destroyer, the Republic Star Destroyer, is still pretty much in a fairly sort of early state. I mean, I've done some surface detailing there, which took about 3 days to do that, and it's remained in that sort of state ever since. So I don't know where this will go on the list of things to be done, but the reason I purchased it was the local store that was selling it, which is Argos, if you live in the UK, had reduced it to £40. So 40 quid for something that looks like this. I couldn't resist. So there we go. Just to like see what's on the horizon, as it were. I mean, I might wait, as I say, until there are more readily available resin sets for it, and maybe photo etch sets as well. But I mean, half the fun's going to be trying to scratch build anyway. But I suppose I can smell the grass, or whatever it is, or is that knock the fumes off the thing. But I mean, it would be quite tricky to scratch build en masse stuff of that kind of quality. But so there you go. I just thought I think that's my cue. I'll speak to you again soon. Oh, and one more thing.
Yes, I bet you have.